Okay, so today we're going to go on to the next stage of our video tutorials. This one is dealing with absolute cell references, then we're going to go on to use of operators, and then we are going to go on to use of an if statement. The first one we're going to do is use of an absolute cell reference. So what we're saying then is that we want Excel to go to a particular cell and go nowhere else. The way you do this in Excel is the following, as this very useful little pop-up here tells you. You type in this case, equals, as you do for every formula, and notice in the formula bar equals is there as well, which you could type in if you wanted to. Shift and then dollar, and then we want to work out the money left out of weekly allowance. Now we know the weekly allowance is 30. We know the total here is £5.12. So what we're going to say is the weekly allowance is not going to change, but the total will. So if we say absolutely go to cell D3 and never go anywhere else, and then minus from that specific fixed cell that will never change the total figure, which will change. So we're going to do it like this. So equals dollar D dollar 3, which is this cell that's been highlighted here, minus dollar C, which is this cell here, 12. Because we're saying in D3 that will never change, and in C12 that will never change. So what we are going to do then is now press enter, and that magically tells us the actual difference between £30 take away £5.12. Now I know you can obviously do this with just minus, but part of the pass criteria and the merit criteria and the distinction criteria is to show that you have used relatively complex ways of dealing with information in a spreadsheet, so we need to do it that way. So the second one we're going to do is the same. So we've got two uses of absolute cell references. So this time we're going to type in equals, and this time what we're saying is 120 is fixed, and we're going to minus that from C12. So equals dollar F dollar 2, and let's, I made a mistake. So it just goes to show how wonderful Excel is. It shows you where you've made a mistake. Go back, because it's actually $3 on this spreadsheet. Notice now it's highlighted, so that shows that it's correct. And we're going to minus the actual total figure, which is C12. Again, so it's $C $12. Now you may say to yourself, simple enough, but why the dollars? Well, because we're fixing it. We're saying that minus £5.12 is obviously going to be £114.88. Obviously, the spreadsheet you'll build up will be a lot more complicated than this. This is just a starting point. So, what we've used so far are two types of absolute cell references. The next thing we're going to do, let's just delete that so you can see this in action. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to put in a formula to work out the total monthly allowance. Now I appreciate that you realise that 4 times a weekly allowance will give you a monthly allowance, but we need to show that we understand how to work out 4 times a particular figure. So we are going to say, let's use the absolute cell reference again. So let's type in equals, and it's going to be, on this occasion, shift dollar. So that's shift to number 4, and then it's going to be this particular cell here, so that's E3, so it's dollar E dollar 3, and then shift and then number 8 this time to give you the star symbol, and then it's going to be number 4. So we're basically saying this figure here times it by 4, and it gives us then our total monthly allowance. Now, would anyone like to work out the mistake I've just made? Yes, the mistake I've just made is I've multiplied the money left out of a weekly allowance, not the weekly allowance. So what I'm going to do is delete that and start again. So type in equals, and then it's going to be shift number 4, and then it's going to be D, because that's the correct column, and shift at number 4, and then it's going to be star, so shift to number 8, and then 4. Enter. We know that 4 times 30 is 120, so we've actually made sure that our spreadsheet is correct as we've gone along. Now then, we've done that, we've done that, we've done that. We've used 2 absolute cell references, and we've also used an operator. So before we go any further, and I think for the end of this video, can you please now print screen your use of 2 different absolute cell references, and can you print screen your use of an operator and emphasize the fact that the star indicates that it's multiplying the particular cell reference here by 4, and that it is what's called an operator, as is plus, as is minus, as is forward slash. Again, evidence this by printing out your spreadsheet as it is, and then drawing an arrow to these cells explaining what you've put in them. This time, in addition, go to formulas, go to show formulas, move your cell columns up a bit by double clicking on the lines in between. Like this, notice it automatically resizes. And print off this time in formula view, showing all the formulas that we've used here, here and here, and all the formulas you've used going across here, here and here, and explain what you have done. This is the end of the second video tutorial on spreadsheet formulas. The next one will be on if statements.